There are 10 principal things, fundamental things, which can be listed as the attributes, the essential attributes for the pursuit of Yoga Upanishads. So what are these 10 important things? First one, as Adi Shankaracharya has called it out, Viveka. First and foremost thing that is required, the most fundamental, essential attribute for somebody who is willing to pursue yoga is Viveka. Of course, you need to have a sound body, sound mind, all those things are given. But beyond that, we need Viveka. What is Viveka? The ability to distinguish between what is true and what is untrue, what is right and what is false, what is the truth and what is the false, what is good and what is bad. This ability to distinguish sets us apart. It gives us plenty of miles in the pursuit of yoga. Most of the times, we end up not being able to distinguish between these two things. We don't know what is true and what is untrue. Unless it is as clear as daylight, we are fine. You know, when we have to distinguish between day and night, it's easy for us. But when somebody asks us to distinguish between deity and the Supreme One, or these kind of things, that's when it gets really tough. So to know, when somebody poses a question in a way that they are supposed to ask, what happens to this human body, or what happens to me when I die, when I leave this body, what happens afterwards? These are some of the questions, or the nature of these questions are in such way that they won't allow us to sit quietly. They disturb us. They put us through plenty of things. And that's where Viveka helps us. We know that this is what the truth is, and this is what the untrue stuff is. So this Nitya Vastu Viveka. Nitya is that which is permanent, and Anitya is that which is impermanent. My guru used to tell us it in a very lucid way, very attractive way that none of us have ever forgotten how he used to describe it. How do you understand permanent? That which is your paramanenta is permanent. And if you know a little bit of Kannada, it's very easy to decode this. He who is your forever relative, it's not even relative. Nenta means that who has always been with you. That which always has stayed with you is called as Nenta. And that which is, there are plenty of things that has stayed with us. Even our papa, even our karma phala has stayed with us. But that is not the highest one, the greatest one. The greatest thing that has ever stayed with us is called as permanent. That is the truth. What has stayed with us under all circumstances? The absolute truth, ourselves. That's what we are trying to achieve. Everything else apart from this is untrue, is impermanent. It is that easy to understand Viveka. Right. And then the second most important thing is Vairagya. Oh no. This is not what we signed up. Yoga Upanishad, we thought that it is just more technical in nature, when here we are again, falling down in style. There is a description for flying in one of the animated movies called Toy Story. They have defined what is flying. Flying is falling in style. Isn't it? When we observe, it's nothing but falling in style. Because anything that goes up has to come down. So that's how they have defined. But Vairagya is something that keeps us grounded, that never allows us to get ahead of the things, or it never allows us to lose control of the things. We are always constantly reminded. We are always oriented towards the thing that we are seeking the most. That is to realize who we truly are. Self-realization, realization of what we actually are. That's what the whole goal is. That's what the whole point is. From subject to outcome, this is what we are trying to achieve. And Vairagya helps us. How? Because in the path of pursuit, in this road of pursuit, we have a tendency to get ourselves attached to several things. We already have such kind of attachments. We may not have realized it yet, but we do have plenty of attachments. And the Upanishads are not suggesting that you cut all of those attachments and come to us. It is not possible. Technically, it is not possible. Practically, it is impossible to cut everything at a time. It requires stage by stage, level by level, inch by inch. We need to cut ourselves. And slowly and surely, we will end up with Vairagya. So the both factors, the both fundamentals, the two fundamentals given by Krishna, one of them is Vairagya. You realize how strong that fundamental needs to be. And it's a long process. It's not something that can be achieved in a fortnight. Workshop on Vairagya, 15 days. We will have you get Vairagya or paisa vapas. No, it doesn't work that way. You can't promise that. Because there are so many factors to take into consideration. Therefore, but we need to realize, we need to make a point that these are the 10 things that are essential things. Eligibility criteria. Criteria 1, Viveka. Do I have Viveka? Some cases I have, some cases I don't have, because nobody likes to be called as aviveki, isn't it? When we were growing up, the biggest abuse that we used to get, that which used to hurt us the most from our teachers was, if my teacher called me an aviveki, I would be sad for an entire day. My teacher called me an aviveki. It means that the greatest shameful thing that I have ever heard. Now, the word aviveki does not even fall on people's ears. Forget about falling on their ears. The modern crop of people, if they hear the word aviveki, they will note it down. They think that this is a fancy name for my child. Let me call my child aviveki. It sounds fancy, ends with, starts with A, ends with I. Where have we come? Okay, fine. Moving on. So, Viveka, we have to mark and say that Viveka, yes, slowly but surely, I'm moving towards it. Vairagya, next step, Vairagya, yes. Not entirely, definitely not entirely we have achieved it, but I am on path of achieving Vairagya. Third one is Mumukshutva, another fundamental thing. It is like, we need to understand these are some things, Viveka and Vairagya are some things that can be altered. It is in software level. But Mumukshutva is a hardware thing. So we need to change the default setting. It's like you have to reassemble the things. As an engineer, you have to re-engineer it. And that's where Mumukshutva comes. Every single creature born in this world, in this creation, has been bestowed upon with a default setting. And that default setting is called as jijivisha, the desire to live. No creature naturally wants to die. It is something that happens over the course of time. It is an inevitable thing that happens to all those who are born. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. This is what Krishna taught Arjuna in Gita when he said that, see, that which is born must end. That is true. But as long as it lives, it doesn't want, naturally it doesn't want to end its life. It always wants to live. So that is jijivisha. It means that desire is so basic for us that we can't rise above it. We can't curb it. We can't put a lid on it. What we can do, when you find yourself against a formidable opposition, the best thing to do is alter your course. Work with your opposition. Now, desire can work in your favor if you know how to negotiate with it, or it can work against you as well, which is already doing. We all are subjected to the mishaps of desires, because that's the point of the beginning of the cycle of destruction. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. With association starts desire, and desire leads to anger, anger to delusion, delusion to destruction. This is the chain of destruction. Therefore, we can work, we can make something, and we can change, we can alter the desire. Instead of having this jijivisha, how about we replace it? The desire remains, the basic ingredient remains the same. It's like somebody does not like paneer. Therefore, the crux remains the same, right? But they will change the toppings on a pizza. Likewise, you just change it from jijivisha, you change it to mumuksha. What is mumuksha? The desire to liberate oneself. The idea of liberation is realization, not death. In our knowledge systems, the idea of liberation has never been death. The idea of liberation has always been realization. Realization of oneself is moksha for us. And the ichha, the desire to achieve the self-realization, is called as mumuksha. We need to have that. It is the driving force. If we do not have the driving force, our vehicle won't move ahead. So this is the third one. In this order: Viveka, Vairagya, Mumuksha. And then comes Shamadhi Shakka Sampattihi. Shama, Dama, Uparati, and the remaining three. So there are six more important things. Now, what are these 6 important things? After these 6 more fundamental things. The first one amongst them is Shama. What is Shama? Not another beautiful name for a female child. No. Shama refers to control over mind. Swalakshye niyatavastha manasaha shama uchyate. We have to determine what is our goal, the destination, the outcome that we want to achieve. And when we are outcome oriented, when we are focused on that, we want to keep our mind focused only on that and not allow the mind to go elsewhere. And this ability of mind is called as Shama. It's easier said than done. We all know how quirky and how tricky our mind is. That's why they have mentioned this as an essential, as a fundamental attribute that everybody who wishes to pursue yoga needs to have. Shama. And then comes Dama. See, even though we may think that, it's only about mind, right? It's not only about mind. We have sense organs as well, which have a tendency to connect with the outer world. Once they start connecting with the outer world, they don't want to stop it. Look at us. Have we ever stopped? Once we start connecting outside, we don't stop. No matter how much ever our guru promises us that, close your eyes, that is the key. You will find a completely unconquered territory, unconquered kingdom awaiting you, inside you, within you. No, that's okay. I want to open my eyes. This is exactly how it happens when we try to meditate, isn't it? I'm just putting it to words, that's all. Of course, our mind plays it in different versions, different tunes, different rhythms, different languages. It speaks to us in different kinds, but this is the gist of it. It never allows us to stay focused because it finds that the indriyas, the sense organs, they find it easy, and because they are accustomed, they are already acclimatized with the outer world. That is, therefore, it becomes important for us to have control over the sense organs as well. So this control of sense organs as well as karmendriyas, the control over jnanendriyas and karmendriyas is called as Dama, Shama and Dama. And then comes the most difficult one to master, Uparati. It says that Bahya analambanam vrittehe yesha Uparati. This is Uparati, where we are not relying on the outer world. Our over-reliance, over-dependence on the outer world needs to stop. We have completely sold ourselves to the outer world in one way or the other. It feels that we can't survive without few things. It took us a pandemic to make us realize several of the wrong things where we had put ourselves in. It's impossible to live. Is it possible to work from home? Look at us, all of us, so happy staying at home. Is it possible for us to not get out of home? It did eventually become easy for us. And instead of waiting for some natural phenomenon to teach us this, the practicing of non-reliance, non-dependence on the outer world, that is the practice of Uparati. And it's one of the toughest ones to practice because it's not that easy, right? And then comes my personal favorite one. All of those who have heard me, they know how much I love this one. It is called as Titiksha. Very simple word. And to put it in the words of the great Kavi Bharavi, he says that na Titiksha samamasti sadhanam. He said that there is no greater sadhana than the practice of Titiksha. Practice Titiksha, full stop, period. The rest of the things, they will come to you. That's how much important, that's how much vital Titiksha is. There are 3 steps of Titiksha: level 1, level 2, level 3. Foundation, intermediate, final, or master, advanced, whichever name you want to give. Foundation is Sahanam Sarvadukkhana. You should be able to sustain all the pain, agony, struggles that you go through. Sign me up. It's easy. That's what I want to do. I don't want to crib. I don't want to cry. I don't want to whine. I don't want to complain. I want to go through all the troubles that I have without much fuss. Okay. Immediately after that, they said that apratikara purvakam. But at the same time, you're not supposed to react on that. You're not supposed to act upon it. You should not try to get rid of all the problems that you have. Acknowledge, go through. That's all. Okay. So 80% of the crowd were reduced. And those who signed up, gradually the number came down. It said, okay, fine. Level 2 is a bit difficult. Then there is level 3 as well. See, I can go through this. I won't even react on it. I won't do anything. I won't respond to it. I will simply go through it. But at least, can I speak about this? Can I write a book on this? Can I write a memoir on this? No. Chinta vilapa rahitam. I'm not supposed to think about it, nor am I supposed to speak about it or cry about it. This is called as Titiksha. Whatever we are a result of our previous karma. We are a total result of the karma phala. And karma phala, they will continue to have an influence on our life. So when karma phalas come and hit us, we are not supposed to try and get rid of them. We are not supposed to think about them. We are not supposed to worry about them and cry about them. But acknowledge it and move on. That willpower, that strength, the core strength, the gut strength that we are going to build for ourselves, that is Titiksha. This is the reason why Bharavi said that na Titiksha samamasti sadhan. There is no greater instrument than Titiksha in life. So after Titiksha, we have only 2 more to go. Next one is called as Shraddha. It's a very popular word. What is Shraddha? Shraddha means faith, belief, concentration. These are some of the popular words that have been given to Shraddha. Whatever the instructions are given to me by my guru, I shall follow it to the last syllable. I shall follow it to its core, and I shall not refrain myself from not following it. It's not like I have an option. Whenever my guru says something, whenever my teacher asks me to do something, I wish to have multiple options, multiple choices. Can I do this? Can I do this? And again, like the new policy that has been introduced, all thanks to the government. Like, you start with a 4-year degree course, and if you're not able to finish it, and you felt like giving up, like how Arjuna felt like running away from the battlefield after 6 months, you still end up with a certificate. For what? For staying in this course for 6 months, you end up with a certificate. Ah, welcome to the new world. That should not happen. Shraddha means complete faith, 100% belief. There is no doubting. There is not even an inch. There is not even an ounce of doubt related to the words of Guru. Whatever our Guru says, that is Shastra Vakya, that is Veda Vakya. So that firm belief in Shastra and Guru Vakya and Veda Vakya is called as Shraddha. Nothing else matters. Only this. And lastly, and the penultimate one, not the last one, the penultimate one is called as Samadhanam. This is the 9th one in the list. If you are making a list, this should be the 9th one. The 9th one is called as Samadhanam. We are all familiar with the word Samadhanam. Whenever a crisis hits us, people come to us and tell us, Samadhanam Adkuli. How? It's very interesting, isn't it? They mean well. It's just that the meaning of the word Samadhanam is lost on us these days. We have forgotten what is the true meaning of the word Samadhanam. We have been constantly using the word Samadhanam. A child is crying. We use the word Samadhanam. If a person is going through a lot of pain, we say the same thing. What is Samadhanam? Samadhanam, in simpler terms, means orientation, alignment. Anybody who has driven a vehicle, they all know how important it is to keep their wheels, keep the wheels of their vehicle aligned. If the wheels are not aligned properly, there will be accident, isn't it? So that's how important alignment is. As vital as alignment is to the smooth conduct, the smooth journey of a vehicle, Samadhanam is equally important for the smooth pursuit of yoga in our life. Every time our mind goes somewhere else, we need to realign it, bring it back, and remind ourselves that this is what I'm meant to do. This is the ultimate thing. To bring ourselves back on track every time we miss out. Because the number of times we miss out on things is countless. Every day it happens. My teacher used to give us an example. It's like, when you are in a class, you listen very carefully, very keenly, so interested. And when you are seated down, and do you know what is the natural tendency for any human being to do when they stand up from their seat? They dust off their clothes. Irrespective of the gender, they dust off their clothes. That's how easy it is to dust off whatever good we have heard. It goes away like that, just like that. Immediately, 2 seconds ago, we heard what is the most important thing to achieve in life, the ultimate purpose of life. Fantastic. We thought that we are in alignment. 2 seconds later, when we stood up, we dusted it off. It goes away. So to bring back the mind back on track, every single time it misses out, that's called a samadhana. It's one of the toughest things to do in life. So if we have achieved all these things and we need something at the end, even when we have all of them, all these 9, Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutva, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, all 9 of them we have. But there is one missing thing, and that missing thing is called as Guru. Until and unless we have that guru, it is not possible to commandeer ourselves through this harsh, unforgiving waters of this world. They are harsh and they are unforgiving. Therefore, we need an able guide, an able guru to commandeer us through this. And the role of a guru cannot be enough highlighted in one's life. Therefore, for the pursuit of any Upanishad, this is not meant for only for Yoga Upanishad, this is meant for all Upanishads. And since we are talking about Yoga Upanishads in particular, the pursuit of Yoga Upanishad relies on our achievement of these 10 important fundamentals. If we have these 10 fundamentals covered, then we are in the prime seat. We are in we're in the top seat to achieve whatever the Yoga Upanishad says. We will be in the front end to receive the Upanishads, whatever the Upanishads have to offer. The prime capability of a person who is pursuing Yoga Upanishad is when they have all these 10 fundamentals. This is called as Adhikara Sampat. And one who has all these 10, he is called as an Adhikari, eligible. So throughout our life, our only wish should be to get that seal of eligible on ourselves. The day we become eligible, that's a day to behold, because everything else falls in line, starting that day onwards.